Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltufts.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a 6x12 scrapbook double page spread titled Pont, Alexandre. I'll be scrapping a number of photos and I'm working with a digital scrapbook kit, Seize the Day by Amber Shaw from Sweet Shop Designs. I'm also using stamps and dies, among them the Be Bold Blooms Etched dies from Spellbinders. So I'm starting with preparing the paper. I use Silhouette for that to basically design the background with all the papers and stuff, and then I fill the papers by dragging and dropping them into the Silhouette file that I have created, and that means I'm just dragging and dropping the digital papers that come with this kit. And so then afterward I print them out, and then I cut them out, and then I put them on the layout. And here I actually paid attention to make sure that the design is actually continuous between the two papers on that I just glued on there. And then there will be the circle, and you see there's a little bit of a strip there because I use my circle dies to actually cut this one out, but I don't care because that you see that there's still some of it even peeking from underneath that other paper there, because it'll be all be covered up anyway. So I don't mind. I was a little lazy to cut out that part because I knew it was going to be hidden underneath other layers, and so that's how this goes. And obviously it's important as I put together this page that I have to pay attention what paper comes first, and by first I mean the bottom layers need to obviously go first before I put layers on top when I glue them. And so that's something I'm paying attention to as I have to put together this page. And then I'm trying to see how I'm going to put together this page because I have it as a digital version in my Silhouette, but I have never actually put it together the full way with all the flowers and stuff, because I haven't actually the flowers are all die cut, and I actually printed another just a rectangle of the same colored paper, just solid paper, so that I could use it for the flowers. So the colors match perfectly with this kit, because I don't have colored cardstock that has the exact color that I wanted. Here I'm adding some tags, and I knew I was going to tuck them behind, so I didn't print the full tag. I just printed like the bit that would be visible, so I'm not wasting ink and paper or anything. So because I can add them to the papers that I print in smaller parts, like the smaller parts you can always add more to the paper, whereas the bigger pieces, they are the ones that I have to design the paper around. So now I'm again, because the flowers go first, I still haven't glued down that wooden looking paper because flowers go behind that, and so I'm still deciding where exactly I want to put the flowers. Those I have not actually put together in the Silhouette file, because I wasn't, like, they're just die cut pieces, and so obviously I don't have them in my Silhouette. And I do have a ton of flowers in my Silhouette that I could just use my machine to cut, but I like the ease of also being able to simply use my dies for that. So I think now I have the background elements and papers ready, so then I can finally glue this piece down that is the patterned paper, that's this wood grain pattern paper. And then I'm ready to also put the photos down, because I also already know that there will be nothing that goes behind the photos. This photo, there will be probably something that goes behind some of the photos, so but the ones where I know nothing will go behind there, I can already glue down. And then these photos go on that side. And this is one of the most famous bridges in Paris. This was that same trip that I have other layouts from that show that are just from our trip. We had a weekend trip to Paris with some friends there. So then I have the other pieces. I still have a lot of elements and other pieces that I want to put on the page. The photos are so small. This is a 6 by 12 spread. It's not a 12 by 24 spread, so two 12 by 12 pages. It's two 6 by 6 pages. And so that means my photos are really small. You can see that because my hands obviously give it away that I'm scrapping on a small scale here. But so I'm really careful with clustering things on top of photos. I love clustering. I don't mind clustering on photos, especially here. You see, I will put something on top of the photo where there's just blue sky. But where there are other things like the motif from the photo, I am very hesitant and very careful with covering it up. I want to be mindful of what I cover up there, because a little bit of covering up on a photo so small just covers up a whole lot on this photo. So I'm always mindful of that with these smaller pages that I'm doing. And obviously I wouldn't really want much of the bridge, which is so beautiful. They say it's the most, or one of the most, or the most beautiful bridge in the world. And so it is very pretty with just the way that it is decorated and all that. So here I am adding more of the embellishment pieces. Some of them came with a digital kit, like the circles and the word strips here. I just add them, and I thought the word strips were really fitting with the theme of this page. And here I realized I forgot, as so many times before, to put the leaves behind there. And so I like they should go behind the flower, but they don't really go the way that I wanted it to go, because obviously I should have glued those down before anything else, because they even go behind the flower. But I can make it work. And so this is always the trouble, that I tend to forget the leaves. And here this one just doesn't want, the flower is just stuck down too much, so I'm just taking my scissors and cutting off a piece so that it looks like it's more tucked under than it actually is. Not a big deal really, because leaves you can always cut parts away of what you don't need. But obviously it would have been easier if I had just started with gluing the leaves down before I glue down anything else. So note to self, always remember to glue the leaves first before gluing down the rest of the design. And that's one of, I don't have any of these, that reusable stick tapes that are available on the market or anything. All I have is this glue, which actually I'm very happy with. It is fast drying. I hated it in the past when I had glue and it would not dry and it would warp my paper and all that. So this one doesn't warp at all, and it is fast drying, but it gives me just enough time to move things on the page if I need to make sure I straighten out a piece of paper or something. I used to work a lot with double-sided tape, and once you have something on the page with double-sided tape, it's very unforgiving because you can't take it off the page anymore without major damage to the background paper, especially with the quality of paper that I have here. But it's the paper that I have, and I want to use it up before I get different paper again. So here I'm ready to go with this other cluster there. And here I hopefully will remember that it does have leaves and that the leaves should go first. Yep, well, this is this piece. The flowers are actually from Spellbinders. And so here I finally remember I should take this first. So when I print like the rectangles, they're not bigger. They're like not bigger than pretty much like one of the photos that you see there. I don't print much, but I print solid color sometimes so that I can use them for my die cut pieces like the flowers. And I love how this page turned out and how like it looks like there's colored cardstock, but it's actually just printed paper. But because it is exactly, I used the color picker to pick the color from the pages so that it matches perfectly, which I wouldn't have otherwise. So I think this is a good method or way that I found to get parts of solid colored paper still in the tones that I want. Especially I have a hard time getting by nice green. They're always just this bright green, or like just the kind of green that I wouldn't want to put on my page. But with these things, I can even get pretty greens and stuff for my leaves and other green stuff. So here I'm still clustering the last bits and pieces there. I always make more than I really should put on the page, but then there's always a little extra room where I can put them. So I like to work in clusters of 3. That's a design rule, because it's uneven on the eyes, and so the eye has to wander more than if you put things in pairs. Pairs the eye can immediately grasp. And so here I'm still deciding, where do I want to put the title? How do I want to put the title? And I decide I will put the scripty font up on top there. Try to make it work with the little bit of space that I have there, so that I don't have to go across to the other side of the page. I prefer not to. I have done it on other pages, but I prefer not to do this with layouts that are double page spreads, and usually I do work with double page spreads either on my traveler's notebooks or like in this album. And so I try to avoid it if I can, but I have done it sometimes, and that makes it interesting as well to make a title go across both pages. So here I'm ready to put down this part of the title, and I think that's my page done. I'm going to leave you with some more close-ups, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.